change. They tuck their shirts in, they behave, they whip out notebooks when they wouldn't have that before. Things would definitely change when he came in. But with that said, there's no way you can be in a school for that long and be that integrated with a school and not know what's going on. So I don't think he knows how bad it really is. I don't think he really understands how poor the education is, how bad the teachers are, because he's not there all the time. But I think he has an idea. Enough of an idea to maybe take the initiative and responsibility doing something.
You think it's time for the administrators to go?
Absolutely. I'm being honest. I really think that school over the summer should really, really, really make some big moves. I don't think it's something that can happen overnight. I really do think that a potential part of what you can do is, like I said, possibly doing some type of like investigating onto it. Somehow get yourself into the classrooms and really see firsthand what teachers are doing what. Because one thing I don't agree with the whole thing in Rhode Island is getting rid of all of them. Because I can guarantee you not all of those 80 teachers were bad teachers. That I don't think was fair at all. So I think there needs to be some good, solid investigating to what teachers are doing what, where they're failing, and just take huge steps from there. And I said before they should sit them all down and talk to them. I said it just because that's, of course, we always have to do it first. But I really don't think that's going to work. You need to put your foot down. These are kids at stake. This is their future.
It's their whole life. It's not just a temporary thing. This is their whole life. What you do in those 4 years at high school will forever mold the type of person they become. I don't care what anybody says.
I agree 100%.
And if it's not happening, and if you got kids who are not learning how to write, and then it can't, and I saw this all the time when I was working as a manager, I would see job applications with misspellings. I had kids who would come in for job interviews in shorts and flip-flops. I would get people who would not know how to speak a coherent sentence and who basically thought, I'm entitled to this job, and it doesn't matter if I don't know how to write. And this was at newspapers and magazines, mind you. So, I just don't understand why there are certain administrators at that school who will not be named, who don't realize it's time to pack it in. We've done enough damage. Let someone else take over and let them begin anew. What will it take to get that through the heads of the Board of Trustees?
I don't know. And I do also want to point out is, part of what I said before is like I said before, that the responsibility goes through ways. Responsibility does go to the student. And as you get older, especially in high school, you do take a huge amount of responsibility. In high school, it is your choice to wake up, and go to class, and learn. And it's your responsibility to come home, okay, walk past those gang members or hanging out or whatever, do your work when you get home. It is your responsibility. But the problem is, in their earlier years, those values and those basic things weren't instilled in their head. And that's what I think is the teacher's responsibility, to start explaining that and showing them how it's really supposed to be. Because at that age, you're still very influential. And at that age, you do start to see things more. I wasn't an angel in grammar school. My grades were always pretty good, but I was kind of a little badass, pissing off teachers and stuff. When I went to high school, I changed. My freshman year, my GPA was a 1.85. That's deplorable. I remember saying you couldn't believe that my brother was Gustavo, because Gus was this, great student. What happened? I took a step back, a big part because of some of the teachers and stuff like that, but also myself. I took a step back and I saw and realized I only have 4 years at this. These 4 years is going to determine my future. So I took a step back, I took my part of responsibility, and I did my best to improve myself, and I know I have.
And you
However, the continuing responsibility of the school just totally failed.
The school
and
failed.
I'm lucky enough where, again, my values at home were instilled to me at a very young age, whether it be, a spoon over the head or a sandal on the butt, my values were instilled at a young age. And I was lucky enough that my aunt and my uncles and my brother and my mom were educated and smart people. And, again, that kind of made me see the light a little bit better. But not everyone has that luxury, and I think, again, that's why responsibility needs to be taken from all three parties. But in high school, the students and teachers got to take a huge brunt of responsibility, and I think at that level, the most important thing is for both to take responsibility, because when you only have one, you can only go so far. I haven't gotten to where I wanted to go in my life, because I know for a fact there were a lot of basic fundamental things in high school I didn't learn. And I remember going in, I did good in calculus and all that stuff, but when I went into St. Peter's, the first month or two, I kind of struggled because I had to, I missed those basic fundamental things about, certain math techniques and certain writing techniques and stuff. So it's, and again, I'm the lucky one where I was kind of enlightened outside of school. What happens to these poor kids who don't get that education in high school? Even more so, what happens to those basketball and football players that, again, get these golden tickets through high school and they don't make it into the NBA, they barely make it through college, and they have nothing to fall back on because they don't have that education? What do you do?
And I don't know if we're going to come up with an answer to that because it's almost unanswerable, isn't it?
Well, you know what? I think at this point, it's. I still don't think it's too late. I mean, I still think, especially as you become an even older adult, whether you had misfortunes in high school or not, or college, I don't believe there's such thing as a roof. I look at things and you can go as high as you want. Again, like I said, I'm not at the position I want to be, but I'm only 25 years old. I know I got a long life ahead of me, and I know I can still achieve the things I wanted to achieve. So there's no reason why anyone else can't. So I will also say that in high school, you may have been failed, in college you may have been failed, but there is still a chance for you to take your personal responsibility to make yourself a better person. But I just think it's not fair when the other aspects of growing up with their responsibility, they're not upholding their right, because it makes it a lot harder.
And that's what you did. You held up your end of the bargain, and the school didn't. One final question on the way out here. We're out of time, unfortunately. You had a chance to make the decision for your brother. Would you pull him out and send him elsewhere? Yes or no answer if you had the chance.
Well, right now?
Right now.
I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. Simply because my biggest fear would be taking him out now, putting him into a situation where he's a junior, he'll be a senior next year. But realistically, I mean, he's kind of, because of the poor education he got there, what level is he really in? Or really at compared to other schools? So it's at that point, it's like you can look at it as, all right, well, it's better 1 year than nothing. But on the other hand, it's is it almost better let him just stay there and make the best he can and just improve himself the way I have and other people have outside of school and make that extra effort to make up for what he missed out on St. Anthony. So honestly, I won't know. I really don't know. That would be something that, as a parent, I would have to really sit down and really think about.
I'll tell
you what, but he wants to leave.
He wants to leave, really? Wow.
He hates that place with a passion.
Take the question and move it back 3 years. Big mistake letting him go there, wasn't it?
Oh, absolutely. And you know what? It's like I said before. I didn't mind so much when I went, simply because, again, I knew that Alex was in an environment, a positive environment, in terms of the people around him, to help him educate and better himself. And he's a smart kid, and he knows he's got to take his responsibility. So I felt that, knowing that the school made such a big improvement and such, big change with the administration, coupled with the fact that he could potentially get some of the life experiences I got, I didn't think it was a bad idea. But now, knowing that, nothing happened out of the change in the administration, and he's damn sure not getting those life lessons I got, the fuck was the point of him going to begin with?
Mm-hmm. It's like not worth it for 1 second.
No.
Nando, I can't thank you enough for spending time with me today. And every time you come on with me, it's always controversial, always filled with a lot of energy. And I don't think this is going to be the last time we have a discussion about this school. I think we're going to have to do some work together, don't you?
Yes, I really, a lot of people, some people may say to themselves, why are you doing it? Nothing's going to change, and you have really nothing to do with the school. You graduated and snap, but you know what? I don't think it's fair for adults to sit down, know things are going on, and do nothing about it, because that's why things have continued. So, yes, I really think that a time needs to come, and I think that time is now to really start exposing a lot of the things and at least getting people aware of what's really going on, because once you start asking questions, more, you start getting answers. The more answers you get, the more questions you get. And if the right people start hearing these things, maybe we can finally see real change in that place.
Absolutely. And until then, you won't. Nando, thank you very much, brother.
Thank you for having me.
Don't go anywhere yet.